All right, so good morning. Thanks for joining us. We're very excited to share this new feature of our special ed education software module. That's an add-on to our school scheduling module, DMSchedules. This is something that has been requested by a lot of our clients, and we are just very excited to be able to bring it and to especially hear how you're leveraging it, whether that meets your needs, and any ways to improve it as well. So without further ado, I'm going to jump in and demonstrate the feature in the software. The one thing that I want to point out is this now adds a new user type to DMSchedules. So you had your district administrators, your school administrators, and staff who provide services to students. This adds homeroom teachers as users who can log into the software. And the reason this is not done just through a shared link, but this requires login, is that because we are showing student data, and for privacy reason, this has to be a secure way of accessing our application. So let me share my screen. We can remember how to do this here. Share screen. And jump in to a page. So this page, I just logged into DMSchedules as a homeroom teacher. So my name is Ara Anderson. This is obviously a demo account, not a real school, but it's set up just like a real school. So when I log into my account as a homeroom teacher, I see this page, which has the day tabs and my schedule. So I can see that my homeroom schedule starts at 8 o'clock to 9. I teach reading. Then from 9 to 9:30, I have reading small group, etc. So this is my schedule. I can see I have an intervention enrichment period at 9:30. Recess is at 10:15. Then we have lunch at 10:30. That's probably a little early, but that's what happens with demo accounts. We have science, social studies, math, writing, etc. Then to the right, I can see the students that are receiving services during the day. And these are only the students in my classroom, right? So I can see that Billy Jordan, my student, from 9 to 9:30 is receiving reading pull-out. So he's going to be pulled out of my classroom. And I can see Audrey Arms is the reading intervention teacher. At 9:30, I can see I have 3 students who are getting pulled out of my class. And this is also for reading intervention from 9:30 to 10. And that's during the intervention enrichment block. So this is very appropriate. And then I can see during recess, the occupational therapist is providing services to Raymond, etc. So I can see during science, social studies, 4 students are getting pulled out for speech. So that is a new view that was not available before. And again, for privacy reason, homeroom teachers will have to log in to access this page. So you can see at the top here, my schedule is the page that we're on. I can also access an area called My Students. So when I do this, I will see a list of all the students that are in my classroom, and I can see the services they receive. So again, because this is a demo, some of the students have no services, but they should. But I can see, for example, Harold Burton has speech and language and reading intervention. And I can see how many times, whether it's group or individual, whether they get pulled out or pushed in, and then even what area of need they're working on. So I have all this information for all my students receiving services, whether it's special ed or intervention or any of the services that we've set up for your account in your account. The other thing I can do is I can actually click on one of the students' name or on the little calendar icon, and this will bring me to the student's schedule. So this shows the student's homeroom schedule. So essentially my homeroom schedule, that's the homeroom schedule for that student, but also overlaid on top of my schedule, I will see all the services that have been scheduled for that student. So I can see this student is receiving that reading intervention during the intervention block, and also speech and language 2 times a week during the science, social studies. So this is really helpful for a homeroom teacher, not only to see their schedule and what's happening during their classroom, how many students are getting pushed in or pulled out, but also to narrow down within one specific student to be able to see the whole week of that student and all the services that student is receiving. So to recap quickly, My schedule, that's the landing page as a homeroom schedule. So homeroom teacher, I would access. This shows both my homeroom schedule and any students that is receiving services during the day. And then my student is the full list of students with their services. And then I can narrow down to a specific student and see that's student schedule. So just a big enhancement to our application. And that means that you can now enable this feature on your account. Now, in order to set this up, let me walk you through some of the requirements, because this obviously does not come automatically since we don't have all the information we need to create an account for homeroom teachers. So let me switch to another browser and walk you through the requirements to enable this. So now I'm logged in as a school administrator, or a district administrator would have access to this as well. And under the staff icon, this is where you define the name of all your homeroom teachers, PE teachers, etc. And you've probably already done this. And you can see all the names here. But one thing we require now to enable this feature is the email address, which we will use to create an account for those teachers. So for any homeroom teachers for which you would like to enable these features, we're going to ask you to go in and enter their email address. So let's say that this teachers, that was their email address. All you have to do is click on the record somewhere, add the email address and save. And now, example.com, this is an invalid email address. Obviously, better if you put a valid email address so we can reach out. And that's all you have to do. So repeat this for any homeroom teacher for which you would like to add an email address. If you have never entered any names here, which I doubt, we have also a new feature to import the staff directly, and you can provide a CSV file with the information. If you have created emails, though, if you have created names already and you're just missing the email addresses, I would urge you not to use the import because this will create duplicate names. So best is to just add the email addresses to the existing names. And note this is only for homeroom teachers at this time. So once you've added all the names to the homeroom teacher, the second step to make sure you've done, and I'm sure most of you have, is to go to Setup, Grades and Sections, and make sure that the teacher's name have been selected next to each classroom, right? So this is how we know now that this teacher teaches kindergarten, and now we know their schedule, and also we know their email address. So make sure you do this step, and then you can go into the finalize step. So finalizing has now become really important because this is what sends the information from your school scheduling account to the special ed side. So any changes you make to your schedule, make sure you finalize again, and that sends a snapshot to the special ed side. Now, if you need to make a change, or if your schedule is already finalized, and now you're wondering, how do I go and make these updates to my schedule? You go to the staff page, as I mentioned, you will get a warning that your schedule is finalized, and you will need to put it back into edit mode. So you can just confirm, yes, there's no problem going from finalized to editing, to finalizing again, to editing. It's just a status. So now that I've unfinalized my schedule, I've gone to the staff page. Now I can go and add those email addresses to my staff. And then when I'm done, and if I need to make any changes to my schedule, by the way, this would be a good time to do it. And then I can go to the validate, finalize, and finalize the schedule. All right, so just to recap, make sure under staff, you have added the email addresses for any homeroom teacher you would like to give access to the special ed services. And then make sure that under setup, grades and sections, your staff has been assigned to each classroom. And I believe probably they have already. And then just make sure your schedule is finalized just to pick up those changes. Once this is done, send an email to support@dmgroupk12.com, and we will send invitation emails to all the staff that you've set up and give them access to those special education pages that I shared. just to recap, because I covered a lot of things. First of all, we're recording this session, so I will send you the video after the session. Also, from your help page at the top right of the screen, you can access our help page. And from the help page, we have an item called New Homeroom Teachers Can Access Student Service Schedules. And clicking on this link will bring you to the requirements that I just mentioned, making sure the homeroom teachers have email addresses now defined, make sure they are assigned to their classroom, make sure your schedule is finalized, and finally to send us an email to let us know. So to send us an email, you can use our email address, support@dmgroupk12.com. I'm sure you are familiar with this email, but just in case, I will put it in the chat, support@dmgroupk12.com. And let's make sure I'm sending this to everyone. Support@dmgroupk12.com. Here we go. And this includes the screenshots also that I shared with you today. All right. So I'm going to stop here and see if there's any questions. So feel free to use the chat or the Q&A buttons here on Zoom to send any questions you may have. Let us know if you find this helpful, and then we'd love to hear your feedback in terms of, is there anything missing? Is there anything else we'd like to do? We're always listening. Takes us time to develop these features, obviously, but we always make sure that we put our efforts where it's helpful for you guys. Okay, so I'm getting some positive feedback. This is great. Thanks. I'm glad to hear that, and I'd love to hear your feedback once some of your teachers have started using it. I know we've heard from some people this would be a game changer if we could do this. We have some people who actually require their homeroom teacher to approve the special ed teacher schedules. So this would be a step that allows them to do that. And I can see a question, can we print this screen? So this being an early release feature, we don't have print function yet, but this will be coming soon. So if you're looking for the print button and you don't see it, we will make it available. Another thing I want to mention, somebody asked, can I access those screens? As a school administrator or district administrator, currently you cannot access this. This would be something that only a homeroom teacher who has a homeroom teacher account can see. But that is another feature that we're planning on implementing. So if you find that helpful for you to be able to see that view of the homeroom teacher, let us know, and we'll make sure we put this on our roadmap. Just going to give it a couple more minutes to see if there's any more questions. So feel free to put your questions in the chat or the Q&A box, and this will benefit the group. Otherwise, if there's no other questions, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for suggesting this great feature. I think this is going to be, I don't know about a game changer, but I think this is going to be really helpful in any case for homeroom teachers to be able to really be aware of what's planned around the services for their students. And then feel free to contact support at dmgroupk12.com once you've added your email addresses, so we can invite your homeroom teachers. Make sure to communicate this to your homeroom teachers. You can maybe even share that page from the help. They will have access to that as well, so that they're aware when we send these email invites that it's coming from us and to expect that email. All right. With that, thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed the new feature. And again, let us know your feedback. Have a great day, everyone.